Hey everyone, Chris here from Realridesharestories. On this channel, we do a lot of different things within the rideshare industry, so if you're new here, make sure you hit that subscribe button and ring the bell for notifications. Before we get started, if you have a crazy Uber Lyft experience, whether you're a passenger or a driver, record it, send it my way, and maybe we can feature you on the channel. All right, as the title states, AB5 just passed the Senate in California. What's up, Rideshare Lisa? How's it going? So big breaking news out of the state of California right now. What's up? First to go live. How's it going, man? Or woman, whatever you are. But what's going on? So yeah, like I said, breaking news out of California. AB5 has passed the Senate. So what it is the gig workers compensation, or not compensation, the gig workers bill it's known as, but it's also AB5, which reclassifies workers as independent contractors to employees if it passes a three-part test. You just watched Paula's live stream. Okay, I was out driving, so I didn't actually see her live stream. But yeah, it was pretty shocking, but expected after reading a lot of different articles and seeing what other people in the Senate and the Assembly have been talking about, where it's been said that it's likely to pass, and it has passed. So it was voted, I don't know, maybe an hour ago or something, maybe a little longer, but it was 29-11, where all state senators voted on it. So yeah, it was 29-11. Now you're an employee, you don't get unemployment. Come on. Well, it's not going to affect me or a lot of other people. It's only in the state of California. I'm in New York, so it's not really going to affect me. But being in New York likes to follow suit on a lot of things that California does. So it's very possible that in the next legislative session, something could be introduced to reclassify workers as employees as well. So it's very likely to see something like that because what's going on in California with AB5, it's reclassifying approximately about 1 million workers who are independent contractors. So it's not just delivery drivers or gig economy workers, but it can also include people like strippers and other professions as well too. So it's not just that. But it's very likely it could come into other states, because one of the big things that they're gaining from it is taxes. And California is expected to get anywhere from about 7 billion to 9 billion in additional revenue just from taxes, instead of having people classified as independent contractors. So when other states see that, they're probably going to be like, ooh, another way to tax and get taxes in. So yeah, so that's kind of what's going on. But now what's happening is it's going to go back to the Assembly, where they're going to review it. And I believe they take another vote, but they're going to review it because there has been some amendments and changes to AB5, mostly exemptions. So like doctors, lawyers, I believe hairdressers are in that, realtors, and other professions. They're exempt, and there's been some changes within it. It was read a few times, gone through the committee floors and gone onto the floor. But yeah, it'll go back to the Assembly now. And then it's likely to go to governor's office, where it's likely to be signed. He's already come out in support of the bill. So it's very likely that this bill will be passed entirely and signed according to Gonzalez's time frame, where it sounds like everything is in the mix to make that happen, where it will take effect in 2020. So Uber and Lyft, DoorDash, Instacart, all these companies that are gig economy and platform workers, what's going on now is they're going to try to fight this even more and continue the battle. So they've pledged nearly $90 million to create a 2020 ballot measure that would essentially nullify AB5 or exempt them from AB5, and talk about the possibility of doing their own sort of bill, which was semi-introduced, but not really. They had the bill draft, Uber and Lyft kind of had this bill drafted, but nobody really sponsored it yet. And being that Friday is the end of the legislation session in California, it's unlikely anything is going to happen from that, especially since it just had AB5 had just passed. And then that legislation, from what I saw, that was drafted, it's kind of creating a third classification of employees. Instead of being employee, independent contractor, they were calling it like network employee or network contractor or something like that. Or network worker. I can't really remember what it was, but that's what they were trying to plan it as. And then they were going to talk about giving a floor, like an income floor, certain benefits. Was going to be 1.27 times the amount of what that area's minimum wage was. So like in San Francisco, I think it's like 15 something. It would have ended up being like 1988 or whatever 1.27 times is. So you can check this out online. I was reading up on it just a little bit before I went live on here, but yeah, that's essentially what they were trying to do. Who knows if that's ever going to happen or change or get their exemption, but right now, currently as it stands, AB5 will include gig workers from just about every platform. So that means Amazon Flex, that means Uber and Lyft drivers, that means Uber Eats, DoorDash, Instacart, all of the other ones, any other rideshare platform too that operates in the state of California would be subject to this if it passes 3-part, which is very likely. So yeah, AB5 essentially will reclassify drivers and delivery workers as employees instead of independent contractors. So over the next few months, again, if this is signed by the governor and becomes law, they're expecting by 2020 when it'll go into effect. So it'll be really, really interesting to see what Uber and Lyft are going to do when it comes to how they're going to be taking this classification and what they're going to be setting up. So yeah, a couple of comments. So yeah, Rideshare Lisa, now what happens? Just told you. So yeah, it shows how much they value their drivers. Not very much, let me tell you. They really don't. Lyft is already sending out emails to take safety courses for drivers. Yes, I made a video about that earlier today, actually. I got that email. So I got that. Yeah, I got it. I made a video on it. There's a course, and then that who knows what it's going to really be about. But yeah, it's some safety course that is going to be in effect, I believe in October is when it starts. And so if you take the course, I don't think it's mandatory, but I believe that if you do take the course and you get a 5-star cycle of rides, meaning you get X amount of 5-star rated rides in a row, you'll end up getting a one-time bonus. Is it probably going to be $10, $15? Probably, but who knows how much it'll really be. I mean, hey, whatever. The company that they partnered with, they're probably going to be making a pretty good partnership out of that, but hey, who knows? So yeah. But yeah, like I said, I'm not sure what's going to end up happening when it comes to being an employee. You can kind of look at different models out there already because there's so many different employee workers. So again, your flexibility will be out the window. They've already come out and said that. They've said a few other things. So what actually happens, though, we'll see. But drivers in California, don't expect to be driving for both Uber and Lyft anymore. You probably have to pick one or the other. And hey, if you're who knows what's going to end up happening when it comes to time, because if you're paid by the hour, they're not going to probably be paying overtime. So all the drivers out there that are doing, 40 plus hours might not be making that way anymore. But who knows? Like I said, it's going to be a pretty interesting couple of months to see what actually happens. And I will try to bring updates as it goes, especially because it does not just affect California. It will affect other states in the country. For any state that decides, hey, yeah, let's reclassify our independent contractors as employees, or create some sort of legislation that will kind of be similar to AB5, or even the same thing as AB5. Got a ping, hey, good luck. Be safe out there when you're driving. So yeah, just be safe out there. But yeah, other than that, if anybody's got any other questions or anything, or wants to hang out with any other comments or anything, by all means, go in the comments. But yeah, that's all I really had to say, that it did pass in the Senate 29-11, where all 40 senators did vote on it. It passed about an hour or so ago. I'm not sure exactly on the time frame. I was out driving, and then when I got back home, checked it out, and hey, found the news. So wanted to let everybody else know, as well as what's going to happen now. Like I said, it's going back to the assembly, where they'll review it. Likely to pass, considering Gonzalez already tweeted out saying that she was really happy that it passed already, and then very likely to go to the governor's desk, where he will sign, very likely sign, since he's shown support for the bill already. But yeah, other than that, like I said, if anybody's got any other questions, comments, or just wants to hang out, let me know. But other than that, I'll probably be ending this live stream pretty soon. But yeah, it was not so much of a shock recently, because like I said, a lot of the articles that I've been reading, and people that have been talking about it, all have said that it's very likely to pass. And guess what? It just did. So pretty self-evident, I guess, there. But yeah, the only thing, like I said, now what will be coming out will be pretty crazy, is to see how Uber and Lyft react, in terms of what they'll have to do to be in compliance of that law, as well as what it means for drivers in the state of California. And then also bringing approximately $60 to $90 million for a 2020 ballot measure in the state of California, to essentially exempt them or nullify. So the next few weeks to the next few months going into 2020 is going to be pretty crazy, and then seeing what they can do for this ballot measure. What's up, Mary Beth? Yeah, so not too sure about that there. South Carolina, being that it's a Republican-ran state, chances are it's not going to be in your area, or a variation of it, but it's very possible. Like I said, any state could draft legislation like AB5, or pretty much close to AB5. So it could be in states or other states over the next year or so. So we'll see what ends up happening. I've always been against AB5, but I do believe that Uber and Lyft do need to do something, or gig economy in general do need to do something to ensure certain things, because they've been cutting pay way too much. So for drivers who are out there who are maybe just the 10-hour worker, the 10-hour part-time worker, which most drivers are in the US and just in general, most are 10 hours or less. I don't know what the statistic is behind, or I forget what the percentage is, but yeah, most drivers are 10 hours or less. So it's going to affect them. It's going to affect, drivers who like to work 40, 50, 60, 70 hours and try to max out as much as they can. So it's really going to affect a lot of people who are doing that. But like I said, I do believe that, there should be some sort of new hybrid model between employee and independent contractor, because drivers are not truly independent contractors. If you look at it, it's definitely been an exploitative term that has been used, but they are definitely not employees because of just the way the model has been set up. And the ability for certain things. So, a new classification or a new hybrid model or something should be brought about where it does guarantee certain things. But whatever's best for the drivers is going to be the best overall. And that's what I'm truly behind. So is AB5 the best for drivers? I truly don't think so. But that's my opinion. Everybody else is entitled to their own opinion and their own thought, which, hey, if you want to share what it is, I'm more than happy to read it and think what you think. But there's a lot of ways where employees can be exploited too. So let's look at Amazon. Let's look at Walmart and what they've done. They only have part-time workers. They don't have full-time workers, so they don't have to pay those benefits, and they kind of curtail around it. So they do use the holes in the system already to kind of do that. So yeah, I would definitely be happy with some sort of commonality in between, and it's something that also guarantees driver, not benefits, but protections. So like certain things like false reports that can get drivers deactivated, I think is absolute bullshit. So there should be some sort of appeal process or some sort of corrective action or some sort of proving that the passenger has to prove that that's actually a true thing. So you can't just say something to get a free ride. You have to be able to prove it. So I think that they really got to do that. Yeah, it's bad news. I do believe, Lone Driver Mike. This is bad because we're going to get laid off or worse. Yeah. Another thing, minimum wage. I don't know about that. I think they're actually putting in place a wage that's going to be higher. I've actually heard the $21 range, but I don't know that for sure. I can't say that with a straight face to let you know, but I've heard that that the wage is going to be around that because it's going to include wear and tear on the vehicles and things like that, and compensation for that. But honestly, like I said, I really don't know. We really don't know until things are kind of put into place and how they're going to be set up. You might have to move out. Yeah, there's a lot of people leaving California, just in general. A lot of people are going to Arizona, I know, and I think Texas as well too. So a lot of Californians are now moving out. So it could just be another reason to move. I live in New York State, and I love the area. I love Buffalo. I love Western New York. It's a great area. It's a fantastic place to be, but there's a lot of things that the state does that I don't like being around anymore, and taxes are one of them. So unfortunately, Rideshare Lisa, you're in Syracuse, I believe, right? But yeah, it could really hit New York State. It's very likely because they're going to, like I said, see that the fact that California just could make up to $7 to $9 billion collecting taxes, and who knows what's going to happen from that. So like I say, New York could follow suit. They already have a mandatory minimum wage law in New York City. They also have other things going on in New York City, which does not count towards the rest of the state. New York City is its own beast when it comes to rideshare drivers, and just everything in general. So if you look up any laws or anything in New York, it'll always say New York City and then rest of the state. So yeah, it's its own beast. But yeah, they already have that minimum wage thing. You made a video about a month ago warning people. Yeah, a lot of people have. You know, a lot of people have. I've talked about how I've not liked it, and you know, I kind of gave some speculation on what it could look like if it passed. And then, you know, as time's gone on, you know, like I said, I'm still not behind AB5 in any way, shape, or form. I don't want to be an employee, but I do believe that drivers do need some sort of protection, as well as you know, some sort of wage, where they're not going to be cut upon all the time, over and over and over. You know, when I first started, you had that 80-20 split, which was great. You're making decent money. But then, you know, that changed to just mileage and time. And then the mileage rate slowly dwindled and dwindled and dwindled. And you can actually see what the history of it is. If you go and type in on Google, I believe it's something like Uber pay rates or Lyft pay rates. It'll actually show you the history of that area and what it's changed. So it'll show you everything. So it'll show you the difference in wait times and in time, just in general, in time pay and in mileage pay and all that. So it's definitely something. Hold on, just going back in some of the comments. Okay, yeah, you are Syracuse. That's what I thought. So yeah, it could affect us. Move out, you got Grubhub, Uber Eats. Wow. So yeah, you're doing quite a bit. You're doing quite a bit when it comes to it, which is a good thing. You want to do multiple gigs. If you're in the gig economy and that's kind of your primary source, you know, you got to do multiple gigs for sure. Because you know, one false report or one problem could end your career as a driver, as a delivery driver, whatever it might be. So yeah, that's good to have multiple gigs for sure. Unfortunately, yeah, you know, that might not be the case much longer. You know, if you're doing all these, they might say, hey, you can't do that. Or you might have to sign up. Who knows? It might be something like Amazon Flex, where, you know, you kind of pick out a couple hour window, or I don't know. I mean, who knows what it's really going to be like down the road. But yeah, it did pass. So we will find out soon if it signs into law. This one girl swears it's going to help us. You know, I mean, some drivers, honestly, AB5 will help some drivers, and it's going to hurt other drivers. So, like I said, it's not the right, I don't think it's the right legislation. I don't think it's the right thing. It's not going to benefit all drivers. There's definitely things that could be put in place that could benefit all drivers. And you know what? Hey, if Uber and Lyft kept the rates where they were, you know, you wouldn't have this problem. And if they didn't grow so big and hire all the people that they hired, you know, and they kept things running lean, or they kept things running the way it was, where they actually could sustain themselves and, you know, paid drivers, you wouldn't have this problem, I don't believe, because I believe, I don't know for sure, I can't remember, but I believe Gonzalez did the legislation because mostly of gig workers, which, I mean, it was also independent contractors, but I believe a lot of it was because of gig economy workers and a lot of the strikes that they were saying, and some of the signs that were not really true, where I think the one sign was like, driver makes $3, Uber makes like $67 or whatever it is. I don't remember, but it was something that was really off and not really true in any way. So could be the beginning of the end. Absolutely. Yeah. Hey, you got child support. I hear you there. 3 years ago, you made $700 on New Year's. Yeah. Oh yeah, I'm sure you probably couldn't even make half that right now on a New Year's. New York City should be its own state. Yeah. And all the money. Hey, there's actually, I believe, there's been legislation brought up so many times for New York City and New York to split its ways from upstate to downstate. Who knows if that'll ever happen? I believe it should. Yeah, it could be, Steven, it could be layoffs. Here's the thing. You don't even know if Uber and Lyft are going to hire you as a driver. That's the whole big thing too. You think that you're going to be a driver even as an employee, but they still have the right to hire you or not hire you. So yeah, as drivers, you don't necessarily know if you're going to be a employee or not. You don't know if you're going to continue working with them or for them. So that's a big thing. There's nowhere in there that says you will still have a job as a rideshare driver or a delivery driver with the new legislation. Absolutely not. Sorry. Nothing states you're going to have it. You agree, Uber and Lyft having the opportunity? Yeah, they did. They had the opportunity. They fucked it up. What's up, Jim? Just accept a low-rated request. The rider's name was mine. Wow. Hopefully that ride goes well. I don't know. But yeah, hopefully. Lyft saying they leave California. Hey, if you can find that and either comment me or email me that statement, I would like to see that. Because I haven't seen that yet. But yeah, let me see that. If you could, let me see that statement somewhere, because I haven't seen it. So long driver Mike, let me know that, because I would really like to see that statement. Oh, you canceled? All right. Now let's see if other states. Yeah. Like I said, that's the big thing, because it's landmark legislation. One of the big things it will create tax revenue for the state of California, up to $7 to $9 billion in expected additional revenue. So other states could see that. I could see Colorado passing some sort of legislation similar, New York State similar, to start off. I mean, I don't know though for sure, but it's very possible. Illinois could be also a state that does that as well, because they like to follow suit on certain things. But time will tell if it's actually going to go into other areas and what's going to kind of happen from it. Yeah, I don't really know. Just got a long trip named T. I know quite a few people who are nicknamed T. So, it could be fake name night in San Fran. Yeah, for sure. Just tuned in, passed. Yep, it did pass. It passed Senate 29-11. I don't know, maybe an hour and a half ago or something. So it did pass. It's going back to the Assembly, where they're going to look at it because of the changes and the amendments that was made in the state side, or I mean, in the Senate side. But I'm sure it will probably go through no problem, and it's probably very likely to go to the governor's desk and be signed by the governor. So it's very likely it will become law and go into effect in 2020, as Gonzalez had talked about on a timeline very recently. So it's looking like that. So anybody in California, good luck. And unfortunately, it's something, like I said, I didn't want to see, but I did want to see some sort of pressure on Uber and Lyft to make it better for drivers. If you watched my videos long ago when I was talking about, or like when I first started the channel, and I was talking about independent contractor and saying, hey, you signed up for what you signed up for. I've kind of evaluated and evolved that statement, or at least my thoughts, saying, Uber and Lyft has evolved as a company, and where they originally started, it's not where they are today. And so they've evolved as a company, just evolved in the marketplace in general. So those types of things have, adjusted a lot of things. So seeing what drivers and different people have actually like kind of made what it is into, it's really kind of evolved. So yeah, I do believe that drivers do need better protections. If they want to classify them as independent contractors, there's got to be a lot more things where drivers have the ability to figure out. So yeah, it's something. This could lower rates for other states too. I don't know if it'll lower rates. It's possible, but I don't know what's going to end up happening. I mean, it's very possible that they could lower rates to try to pay drivers in California. But if it goes into another state or another couple states, what are you going to do? Are you just going to, are you going to have to roll with it? Are you, I don't know. Maybe they could actually, do something better. Thanks for the good luck statement. Yeah. I guess the monkeys to experience it first. Yeah. Report back. Yeah. I'd like to know. I mean, anytime you hear something, any email or anything, just, forward it to me. Let me know. And then because like I said, I'm not in New York, or I'm in New York. I'm not in California, so I don't really know what's going on. But I can see a lot of different things as they pass from different people and news articles and all that stuff. So yeah, it'll be really interesting to see what ends up happening over the next few months for sure, if this passes. And like I said, it's very likely to pass. Find you on Facebook. My Facebook is in the link in the description below. So if you want to shoot me a friend request or something, go ahead. But yeah, my Facebook is in the link in the description, I believe. Will Uber and Lyft bail on California? I don't know. I doubt it, but it's possible. They're probably going to spend a lot of money trying to fight AB5, like they've said. Like I said, it's anywhere from $60 to $90 million that the companies have already claimed that they're going to do for a 2020 ballot measure to nullify or get them exempted from AB5. So yeah, we'll see. We'll absolutely see what happens, but I don't think they're going to be leaving California for that. I really don't think they're going to be leaving California yet. You doubt that? California represent? Yeah, exactly. I don't think they're going to leave California. I think they're going to have to roll with it, and figure something out. Unfortunately, like I said, I don't think it's the right move, but it's some sort of move, and time will tell if it's actually good or not, or if drivers are just pawns in the game still, when it comes to a legislative side. So we'll see. Yeah, I do think New York could be next. And that's the state I'm in. Luckily, nobody's in, luckily legislative session is not in session right now, so that's a good thing. But yeah, I think, I do believe New York could be very well the next state to do it, for sure. If they were to leave Cali, this creates a huge opportunity for a company to fill the vacuum. It does, yeah, but the only thing is I don't think they're gonna. They're based in California. They started in California. I don't think they're gonna go anywhere outside or out of California. It is possible, but I think they're gonna evolve. They're gonna have to evolve into, to kind of roll in compliance with California. And then if other states bring that legislation about. But again, how are they going to use it in their favor? More than likely, they're going to only have, they're only going to hire part-time drivers. I don't know if they're going to do full-time, and I highly doubt they're going to do overtime. So 40 plus hours, I doubt you're going to see anywhere. So who knows what's going to happen. It could affect surge rates, yeah. Who knows what's going to happen. I mean, like I said, if you really want to kind of see what employee is like, look at every other employee job out there, employee-employer relationship jobs. Who knows? You might have to apply for the job. You might have to, you don't have that guarantee of having a job if you are currently a driver in the state. I mean, they might not hire you for whatever reason. They might only, they might do 4-hour chunk shifts. They might, who knows? You might not work for all, or you might not be able to work for all the different companies you currently may work for. And if you drive for Uber, you probably drive for Lyft. If you drive for Lyft, you probably drive for Uber. So you probably drive for both, if not even doing more. So yeah, it's going to be pretty interesting to see how that works out, but I don't think you're going to, I mean, that'll probably be gone, driving for multiple companies, flexibility. And then that also calls into question the ability to accept or deny rides. Are you going to have that ability still, or are you going to just have to take every ride that comes in your way? I mean, time will tell. Again, like I said, I don't know. Time will tell. But yeah, anybody in California, keep me posted, because I'd like to know. But I'm sure this is probably news to a lot of people already, because it is something that just passed in the Senate. But yeah, other than that, I'm going to end the live stream now. It's almost 2 a.m. right now. I'm tired. I have to be up in the morning. And yeah, there's a storm coming. I'm sitting in my car right now. So there's a storm coming. I kind of want to get in the house before it starts raining. So yeah, just wrapping up, like I said, AB5 did pass state Senate in the California. It's going back to the Assembly. It's very likely to go to the governor's desk and be signed, and very likely that it will pass and go into effect in 2020. Next steps where Uber and Lyft are concerned, they're going to fight this as much as they can. They pledged to anywhere from $60 to $90 million to create a 2020 ballot measure to nullify and exempt them from AB5. But other than that, we just don't know what could happen. So legislation will keep you in the app. Hey, Rick, how's it going? All right, guys and gals. Hope you guys and everybody they'll tip you in the app. Yeah, actually, I had that earlier tonight. Oh, I'll tip you in the app. I still haven't gotten one. Uber settings, Uber setting up major hub in Dallas. Yeah, Dallas is a big spot for them too. So who knows? Maybe that's where they might move to. All right, guys. But I'm gonna end. Hope you have a great night. Oh, hey, what's up? All right, so yeah, other than that, I am signing off for the night. Have a great night. We'll see you tomorrow at some point with another video.